For our third question, it's a hyperbola. The reason I know it's a hyperbola is because, once again, the x and the y are both squared, but this time one of them is negative. So notice that you've got a positive 4x squared and a negative 25y squared. So just like we did with the ellipse, you want to group your x's together. 4x squared minus 24x, plus leave a spot for his c. You want to group the y's together, negative 25y squared minus 250y plus a spot for his c, and move that 698 over to the other side. I always have to factor out the leading coefficient from my x squared or my y squared. So for my x's, I have to factor out the 4, which is going to leave me with a x squared minus 6x plus a spot for his c. For the y's, I have to factor out a negative 25, so that's going to give me y squared plus 10y plus a spot for his c is equal to 698 or 689. So then I got to find my c. I'm going to take my b over 2 squared. Negative 6 over 2 squared is going to give me a 9. So if I add 9 onto the left-hand side, I have to add 9, but with that times 4 on the right-hand side. Same thing for the y's. To find my c, I'm going to take my b over 2 squared. 10 over 2 is 5 squared is 25. So if I add 25 onto the left-hand side, there's a negative 25 out in front. Negative 25 times 25 has to be added onto the right-hand side as well. Once I find my c value, then I can go ahead and factor. If I want to figure out what multiplies to 9 and adds to negative 6, it's always the inside of my b over 2, which is a negative 3 and negative 3. If I want to figure out what multiplies to 25 and adds to 10, again, it's going to be a 5 and a 5. So once I have it factored, and I simplify the right-hand side, I always want my hyperbola to be set equal to 1. So I'm going to divide everything by 100, and that's going to give me my x minus 3 quantity squared over 25 minus y plus 5 quantity squared over 4 is equal to 1. We could now graph this with its center at 3, negative 5. We can see that our vertices are going to be forward 5 and backwards 5. We'd go up and down 2 on our y to make our box, and then we could draw in our hyperbola.